One of the most requested boxers for us to study on the channel has been Dimitri Pirog. Today, we're gonna check out his fight with Danny Jacobs, and we're gonna look at how he applies the sweet science. I believe that he is a master, as his nickname would suggest, and he understands the principles on display very well, which gives him the freedom to apply and assess those principles at his own accord with lots of different guards, lots of different stances, lots of different tactics. Hopefully you guys can watch this and I can guide you along so you can learn something for your own success and your own game when you fight. Pirog is an excellent fighter who understands how to use a variety of tactics, a variety of guards, and so is Daniel Jacobs. He knows how to fight switch, and he's fought guys as good as Triple G and as good as Canelo, though he's come up short against both of them. His fight with Pirog is an excellent, excellent display of Pirog's diversity, of his variety, of his ability to shut down and play the spoiler against a variety of different styles and looks. Let's check it out. You can see immediately in this first round here, Pirog uses a variety of guards. He uses that long guard, he uses his half guard, he uses his high guard, he switches. He's always thinking about traffic and he's always thinking about position. You can see when he commits from a good strong stance, his feet are under him. And when he's throwing throwaway shots, he's throwing throwaway shots, and that's okay. I always tell guys, if I throw 5 punches, 4 of them aren't meant to land. They're meant to set up the 5th. This is something that Pirog understands very, very well. Right there, you can see him getting caught in Danny Jacobs' cross lane because he holds onto that half guard as he slips through the cross lane. Not supposed to do that. We had that conversation in our half guard video if you watched it. Good pressure and good tactics. Always dressing up his entries, always turning with shots, and recognizing something that I believe to be true, that there are no situations in boxing where you're supposed to meet force with force. There's always a better, more optimal way to not use your energy, to be more efficient, to let that force pass through you. The only time you need to be forceful in boxing is the moment of impact of a punch. Beautiful little shift there to work Jacobs on the ropes. And he's doing a great, great job of dealing with the jab of Jacobs. And Jacobs has a good, quick jab and a surprising jab because he switches. We haven't made this video yet, but something that's really important to remember, and you can see it playing out very carefully in this round, is if you want to win a fight, there are 5 things you want to do. You need to establish a credible threat. You need to control the space. You need to control the pace, you need to win the battle of the jab, and you start working the body. And like Thanos' Infinity Gauntlet, if you can maintain control of those 5 things, it's just a matter of investing time until the fight is yours. An excellent first round from Pirog, gathered a lot of data and information, and from here on out, we're gonna look at some highlights and some fun moments until we get to the finish. Right at the start of the second round here, you can see Pirog is doing a wonderful job of pinning a slippery opponent to the ropes. Not only is he cutting off the ring and using his feints, but he's sticking to Danny Jacobs' body. The body doesn't move as much as the head, especially against a switch hitter. They can get caught square, and it's easy to keep them where you want them. This also doubles as a wonderful setup where you go low, you set a pattern, you break a pattern, go high, and he rocks Danny Jacobs with this shot high. Beautiful work. Right here you can see beautiful works along the rope. You can see him, again, not committing to big shots because punches are opportunities. A big punch is a big opportunity for an opponent to exit off of the ropes. He's touching him with that jab, touching him with that jab. When he tries to exit, he frames and he spins him. And then you can also see how disciplined and responsible Pirog's guard is. We talk a lot about picking the right guard for the right range. Every time Pirog passes through center line or steps into range, he throws that high guard up so that he's ready to meet Danny Jacobs instead of having to react and play a game of catch up. Here we can see this excellent display of short angles. We talk a lot, when you take a short angle, a 45-degree angle, in this particular case, Pirog is taking it to his closed side. You want to attack with your outside hand, your far side hand. He's throwing his 5 up Danny Jacobs' center line because that right hand's responsibility is to keep you safe from your opponent's left hook. It's the only thing they can throw from this position. It only has one job, and you don't want to risk getting clobbered because you don't understand punch position. If y'all are enjoying this so far and you've learned something, then give me a like, give me a subscribe, give me a share. I don't care how you show your love, but please try to help us grow so we can do more of this. You can see here in the final 30 seconds of the second round, Pirog has checked all of those boxes. He's established a credible threat, he's controlling the space, he's the one setting the pace, he's winning the battle of the jab, and he's working the body. Anybody who can see boxing can see that the writing's on the wall. Obviously, this is a fight. A lucky punch can happen, a Hail Mary can happen, but generally if you invest in these tactics for long enough, it eventually turns over and you finish your opponent. Right there, we had a really good example. We talk about how to defend straight punches. Straight punches don't own a lane or a level the way uppercuts and hooks do, so you defend a straight punch by doing anything. The timing of your defense is more important than the specific defense that you select. Right there was a really good example of what we talked about earlier, saying that you don't meet force with force. You can see Danny Jacobs has tried to crash into, clinch, or tie up Pirog many times, and Pirog just slides right off of him. He just lets that force pass through him, and he almost always gets the better of those exchanges. That's not the place to use your energy. Deny the clinch, let him pass through you, be, as Bruce Lee would say, like water. We see some good examples here of Pirog pairing those linear and those round defenses. You can see when he moves through a lane, he expects the level to be taken afterwards. When he changes levels, he expects the lane to be attacked. And that's the pattern that he adheres to that keeps him so safe as he swims and weaves his way to stay on and keep the pressure on Jacobs. Beautiful little switch there from Pirog. That's one of the #1 things I've hit opponents with in the last 2 years. If they exit to my open side, I just turn to southpaw and keep working for a brief second. Keeps them on the hook is usually very surprising. You can see Danny Jacobs using a classic veteran tactic here. If somebody's outmaneuvering you with their feet laterally, you let yourself be put in the corner so they have to fight you on the line. This is usually not a good sign. While it's a good trick that controls some of the variables, it's dangerous fighting on the line, and it usually means that you've accepted that you're losing the battle of positioning. A man after my own heart. You can see Pirog smiling here. He's obviously having fun in there, and usually I'm smiling when I think I've got a guy figured out. He's walking Jacobs down. He's working the head and the body at will. He's controlling the pace. He's controlling the space. He's eliminated the jab, and it's just a matter of time until this all turns over. You can see Pirog relaxing and dropping his arms here, pulling his shoulders forward. This is a good indicator that he's going to try to throw hard and whippy, the way the Soviet system teaches. Going into the 5th round here, you can see Pirog hasn't done anything that has not been explicitly explained in our backlog of videos. This is good boxing fundamentals executed at the highest level of the sport. He has comfort, he has composure. Again, he's controlling the space, he's controlling the pace, he's setting rhythm, he's setting patterns, he's breaking them, he's thinking positionally, and he's steering Danny Jacobs into the fight that he wants, which means a fight that he's gonna win decisively.
Good comeback left hook by Jacobs there. What was that, Emmanuel?
You know, I think he just told him hit me low, but they made no big issue out of it, which I think was good.
You can see here Pirog's arms are nice and relaxed. He's shifting, he's walking, and there's the finish right there, as we expected. What a beautiful, beautiful display of boxing, and what a beautiful show that there are no tricks at the highest level of the sport. This is all about the fundamentals executed under pressure with good composure. Wonderful, wonderful job from Pirog. I hope you folks learned something from him. He is the master. He is a technician. He is very, very, very smart, and he knows how to play this game as well as the best of them. A truly classic style. Hopefully you guys got something from my translation and explanation of the tactics you're seeing him employ so that you can have success when you fight.